Achal, and today we are going to work on improving our back bends. Now in yoga, back bend are the postures which bend our spine backwards. Spine has three parts to it. The upper part of the spine is called the cervical part of the spine. The middle part of the spine is called the thoracic part of the spine, and lower part of the spine is called the lumbar part of the spine. So when you are trying to work on the back bends, you have to work on all these three different parts so that each part starts to become more and more flexible. And with the combination of that, you are able to achieve a deep back bend. Now, a couple of other things to keep in mind when you're trying to do your back bends. One, you should do your back bends when you have warmed the body up a little, either with sun salutation or by handstands or any other method of warming the body up, because back bends are quite intense and they need the body to be warmed up, the breath to be flowing with ease so that you can achieve the back bends. Now, one of the most important things is to understand where the back is bending the most from. So if you look at the cervical part, the thoracic part and the lumbar part, you will begin to realize that the back bends maximum from the lumbar part or the lower part of the spine. So if I can demonstrate to you, you will see this is Bhujangasana. I'm lying down, and when I'm lifting the body up, my lowest part of the spine is almost at 90 degrees. So you can see that the maximum bend to the spine comes from the lumbar spine area, the lower spine area, and that's why when you are going to improve your back bends, the most important thing is to work first on the lumbar spine area, the lower spine area. So let's begin. How can we work on the lower spine, the lumbar spine? Now first, just to move it a little, just to make it a little more flexible, you can just do these movements, stretch on your mat, and then just lift the feet up, lift the head up, and then start to work on the lower spine. If you can see, this is the area where the work is happening, and you warm this up. Now two postures I will deal with. One is the upper looking dog, the upward looking dog, Urdhva Svanasana. So that is the upward looking dog, and that bends the spine from the lumbar spine area. And then we will work on what is called Bhujangasana, the cobra pose. And I find it easy to go from one posture to the other. So first we will work a little on the upward looking dog. So if you bend, first come into a downward dog position, and then just lean forward and release the upper body onto the upper arms. Your knees remain off the ground. You can see that my knees are off the ground, and my body is poised on my toes and my wrist, and this is giving my spine a lot of curve. Now this is called the upward looking dog posture. We have come into it from the downward dog. I will demonstrate again. First you get into a downward dog position, and from that position you can come into an upward dog, and then just hold it for a long time. The longer you are able to hold postures, the more work happens on that part of the spine. The lower spine, for example, you are holding it for a longer time, your back bend will improve much more. So first you try to hold upward dog, and from the upward dog you can go into a Bhujangasana. So to go into a Bhujangasana from here, you just drop the knees to the floor, open up the ankles and stretch your toes backwards, and then you just start to slide your thighs onto the mat. So you are sliding your thighs onto the mat, and then from that position you can just release the elbows from under the abdomen, and you are into a Bhujangasana. Now this is the almost you're bending the spine 90 degrees from the lumbar spine area, but when you're starting, maybe your spine will not bend that much, so you can also start from this position, lying down on the mat, and then just lifting your head up and holding it for some time like this. If you are a beginner, maybe your body will go to this extent. So you work on it, you try to hold it for longer, you try to lift the body up a little longer. If you want some help, what you can do is you can just keep a pillow underneath your abdomen, and you're keeping a pillow underneath your abdomen, you can just hold the posture for a little longer, and you allow the lumbar spine area, the lowest part of the spine, to first bend a little. Remember, in every backward bend, and finally when you will try to do even the chakrasana, the wheel pose, you will require the bending from the lower spine to be the maximum. So that is one posture, two postures that we discussed which work on our lower spine, and we will start to work and deepen the bend of the spine. Now we come to two postures which work on the middle part of the spine. So you have made this part, the lowest part of the spine, a little more flexible now, opened up. You also need to open up the middle part of the spine, which is called the thoracic spine. So for that, you can do two postures. I will demonstrate. The first one is the Dhanurasana, the bow pose. You hold the ankles in your palm and your upper body is just lying on the mat. Now remember, you are not making any effort with the upper body. So you are just pushing your ankle into your palms outward and higher like this. So the ankles are pushing outward and higher, and that is allowing the spine to bend from the center part of it. So look at this posture. You push the ankle into your palms. The force you just again observe is going outward and higher, and that is giving you a bend in the middle of the spine. So this is one posture to work on the middle part of the spine. And you can, so after you have worked a little on the lowest part of the spine, you start to work on the middle part of the spine. Another posture I will demonstrate to you is called Ustrasana, the camel pose. So for the camel pose, you just sit on the mat with your knees and you just lift the upper body up. Now you have to bend the spine from the middle part. So just for a direction, for a guidance, you can take your right palm and put it in the middle part of the spine. Then you lift the left palm up, lift it above your head also. At every moment, what you need to check is whether your breath is fine or not. So if you are bending backwards, you must observe that the breath is flowing with ease. If your breath does not flow with ease, the body wants to come into a position where you can breathe easily. So you will feel that your limit of your flexibility is only this much because you cannot breathe here anymore. So it's not about the muscular or the skeletal flexibility of the body. It's about the ability of the body to breathe easily in a posture. So you come into this posture, and to deepen this posture, what you can do, you can just push your navel forward. Push your navel forward, that will start to bend the spine right from the middle part of it. And you can drop your head backward and just work on the backward bend of the middle part of the spine. Now we come to the upper part of the spine, the cervical part of the spine. So if you look at the structure of the spine, it can bend maximum from the lowest, a little less from the middle, and even a little less from the uppermost part of it. So I use Setu Bandhasana, the bridge pose, to work on the upper part of the spine to make it more flexible. So to work on the upper part of the spine, Setu Bandhasana, you can just lie down on your mat. You can bring your feet close to the hips. The feet come close to the hips. And then you lift the waist up. You are lifting the waist up. You can see the more you lift the waist up, the action on the spine is shifting from here, the middle to the upper part. So you lift it up, you bring your palms underneath, you interlock your fingers, rotate your shoulders. So shoulders, the more you rotate, the more you can lift the spine up. And this is working on the upper part of the spine, the cervical part of the spine. So you hold this for a few moments. The longer you hold, as I told you, the deeper will be the benefit to the spine. And then you can slowly release the body back onto the mat. So this works on the upper part of the spine. Now we will move into some postures which work on the entire length of the spine. And one of these postures is called the Chakrasana. So to do Chakrasana, you can come into Chakrasana from the Setu Bandhasana kind of a position. So you place your palms by the side of your shoulders. Your fingertips are now pointing towards your feet. We have all done this posture as kids, often in the bed, but we don't realize how difficult it becomes as an adult to do it. So you place the palms by the side of your shoulders, your elbows are pointing towards the ceiling. You first just lift the waist up like a Setu Bandhasana. Now you can hold it for a few moments and use the traction in your palm. If you feel that you have a little traction in the palm, so first stage you just keep holding this. In second stage of the posture, you engage your head. So you lift the head up and you engage the head onto the floor. So now it will require the strength of the arms and the curvature of the back, both to achieve this posture. So you're pushing it and you are moving into a wheel pose. Now just to make the spine a little more flexible, you can do some push-ups like this, which make the spine flexible. It is not easy, it is looking easy, but it is a difficult thing to do. But you see how flexible the spine becomes when I start to do movements like this. So you just move into the wheel pose, and if you want to deepen it, you start bringing the feet close to your palms, and if your body is curving more, then you can even stand up from this position. So this is working on the entire length of the spine. Now I can show you one deepest back bend position. Now in the deepest back bend position, it's called the Raj Kapotasana. And I'll show you now what is the importance of breathing in backward bends. So one of the benefits to the backward bends is not only this flexibility of the spine and the workout on the spine, where spine gets elongated, and your reflex system completely depends upon how flexible your spine is. If your nerves are flowing easily through the spine, your reflexes are good. So even as you age, if you keep the spine good, then you would be able to have your reflexes as they were when you were a kid. They will not change that much. So now I'll show you one posture which is probably the deepest back bend that I can find. This is called Raj Kapotasana, and I will show you the importance of breathing. So whenever you are doing backward bends, whether it is a posture like this or any backward bend, you are actually expanding your chest also. So at the same time, when your lower spine or the part of the spine is bending, you are also expanding your chest. With that, the oxygen that you can take in, the volume of oxygen that you can take in, actually becomes larger, because you can now breathe in more because of the expanded lungs, and because of that the energy that you can produce in your body is also more. So backward bends not only are good for the health of the spine and for your reflexes, but also they give you more energy. You can, if you do backward bends, you will find that your body has more energy, you will feel energized in it. So now I'll show you a backward bend which actually works most on your the whole spine, and here you will see the importance of breathing. So first you come into a position like the camel pose here, Ushtrasana, and you can see that the body will bend more if it can continue to feel that it is able to breathe. So from this position, you just observe as I am taking the body lower, I am still able to speak because I am still able to breathe, and that's why my body doesn't feel any difficulty. So from that position, if I keep going deeper, lower, but if I am able to breathe, the key is in the ability to breathe in these positions. And then you can slowly lift yourself back up. So you see that the flexibility of the body, of course, depends a little bit upon the muscular and the skeletal flexibility, but the most important thing about backward bends and going deeper into it, the ability of the body to breathe as you're bending. So I hope you will find these tips useful. You can work on your backward bends and then give me a feedback on my channel if it is useful for you.